they monitor the visit. So that's what this place is here for. It's an alternative to having to go to the CPS office. So you got to kind of look at it this way. The more of you that work, let me back up. You don't get sucked. They work good. We don't want to invite them back. It took them forever to serve hot dogs. The line was always backed up. So you have to kind of play a balancing. Y'all follow me on that?
Yeah.
The other thing they're going to look at really and truly is just commitment. Be very, and that's where it gets really crazy because, they're going to ask you in the beginning, this isn't just a one deal thing. This is for a season. So they say for the Dallas Cowboy 2015, 2016 football season, how many people can you commit? And if you say you're going to commit 10 people, they're going to expect for you to have 10 people every week. And these are, at least when they're doing the home games. Now, I'm making a mistake. I want to stop concentrating on the teams because this isn't about the teams. It's about the facility. So let's just take like the AT&T Stadium. They may call you for the whole season for the Cowboys. Then they may expect for you to work the Garth Brooks concert and the run on the Beyonce's On the Run concert. If Ringling Brothers comes to town, American Airlines wants you to be there for that. It's events, period, not just sporting events. I tend to think sports because that's what those stadiums and stuff mean to me is just sports. But concerts, any kind of large events. But with that said, if you have a contract with American Airlines Stadium and we contract with AT&T and we contract with Globe Life and we contract with Texas Motor Speedway, you guys are going to be busy year round. You're going to be pretty busy. But the good part of that is, for baby daddy, you should always have a pretty good influx of funds to be able to do whatever it is that you're trying to get done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's half the battle right there. You got all these great ideals that you want to do, for your organization and all this different stuff, but it all takes money. And then if it's all falling on one or two people, it starts to get real tough to do those things. The next thing you know, 3 weeks have turned into, 5 months, and you looked up and you said, God, we really didn't get a lot done. And it wasn't that you weren't trying, it's just that the money wasn't there. But that way, it's an influx of money. What I would suggest is if you can get 15 or 20 people on your team. Follow what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that they all have to work all the time. Because the reality is everybody's not going to want to work every event. Everybody's not going to be able to. Like I was telling Joe earlier, especially with sporting events, they don't know what happened on the weekend. You got Monday Night Football, and then I think you got somebody playing baseball, and they're just all over the place. It seems like every single night of the week there's a sporting event somewhere in Dallas, Texas. So as long as you have a good number of people who are willing to be a part of that pool, then you can sit down and make a schedule and they can say, hey man, I can't work these days because, I can't, work the events because I work my regular job. But as long as you can keep this, like I said, I can't stress this enough. I'm going to be quiet. They're going to look for commitment and they're going to look to see if they can really depend on you. That's really it. Once you've gone out there, you follow directions, you're not being knuckleheads. They tell you to wear a black t-shirt and y'all all show up. I'm going to just be honest with you. If they tell you to wear a solid black t-shirt, you can't wear your baby daddy t-shirt. It's just the rules, But
by you getting out and trying to change yourself to the better, what information did you get, what that you obtained from your kids that made you just stay focused on your purpose-driven life?
Because what happened with me was a mistake. As I told you before, I was a law enforcement officer, was running a gang prevention program. One of the boys stole my weapon. I couldn't turn him in because it wasn't like some guy I didn't know on the street. These were like my sons. So I honestly thought they were going to sue me for the weapon. Never in a million years did I think they would charge me with my own weapon. So for me, it was a genuine mistake, but I didn't want my children to go through that same thing. I didn't want my kids to suffer. So I wanted them to see me in a positive light. They know I went to jail. I told them all. I speak it everywhere I go. I let everybody know the transition from a convicted felon to a person who actually got a chance to vote for President Obama. That was my first time getting a chance to vote. So the first thing I did when I got off probation, I went and saw, I can't think of the name of the organization, but I went and saw them and said, can I get my civil rights back? That was the first thing I went to do. I want to know if I can get my civil rights back so I can at least vote. Yeah, I can't carry a weapon. I can't do all that, but that's not important to me. Can I vote? And so they gave me the opportunity back to get my civil rights back. And as soon as I did, I began voting, and I began to get involved in politics. And in Florida, I was able to get on the Democratic Executive Committee as a convicted felon. You can't really get on that committee, period, especially in Florida. It's a real powerful system. So God was giving me favor to where I was able to get on the Democratic Executive Committee, and from there, it just kept going. It kept going because I wanted my kids to see me in a positive light. I have 8 kids, and 2 of them are natural. So I've had kids from prior relationships that I just took those kids on. And so these boys that I saw turn into men because I was in their lives. They had the same situation. They had fathers that weren't there. They had abusive fathers. But now you're my child, so you don't have to worry about that. So I wanted my kids, I guess I could say, reciprocate what they saw me doing. So my son now, who should be in jail right now, is a manager at a gas station. To me, that's positive because that brother was definitely going down the wrong road. And so he already knows when Coy leaves this planet, you already know what time it is. That's nice, but it's time to run the family business. So I think that's getting him prepared for where he's getting ready to go to. So I want my kids to see, progression. They want to see their dad spending time with their kids. I volunteered and was coach at their soccer at their school. Had never even been on the soccer field. So YouTube came in handy. So I had to learn soccer in like 2 weeks. And then from that was a hero because we ended up we only lost the last game. We were the district champions from YouTube, And so their dad got an award and everything. So to me, that made me proud. My kids was excited. Went to the school and the little kids were screaming when we got the awards. And my kids could say, my daddy was this, And so, I try to take them as many things as possible. I would rather have them sitting here and not knowing what's going on than sitting at home watching TV. And so this is the things that we need to do with our sons, and especially our sons. Our daughters may survive a little bit. There's some issues these boys can be the problem. When I worked with our gang prevention program, you wouldn't believe the stuff that I saw that some of these boys were doing. But just because I was there, it saved a lot of them boys from death and prison. Just because I was there. Some of these guys have their master's degrees now. They've come back. They helped me. We now have a facility, a 13,000 square foot facility in Dallas, which is one of the first ever that Dallas had. It is being run by a black man, an Indian and a black man, which I just happen to be the black man. It's a blessing. But I say that, not to brag, I say that because I came from a single dad convicted felon to our opportunity to vote again, opportunity to vote for the first black president, to get on boards in the city of Dallas, even a convicted felony. Even when I applied for Apple, I became one of Apple's top salesmen in this whole area. I was at every corporate meeting with my picture on the wall for Apple as a convicted felon. It just so happened when I applied for Apple, I was just so worried that when I saw that thing said in the past 8 years, mine was 10 years. So I could still apply for Apple and get the job. And so when I got in there, I didn't want to prove myself wrong. So I worked hard at Apple. I sold more iPhones for Apple than the whole corporate together. There's 5 stores in this market. I sold more iPhones than all the stores combined. So they had named me Mr. AT&T. I was the guy that when you came in the store and they was ignoring you in Highland Park, I was the one that came and helped you out. And so that my kids used to come in that store, they knew my kids, they'd walk in because they can come in and they can play, and my kids are intelligent. They know how to do the computers. They know how to do the phones. They were showing people how to use phones and computers in the Apple store. That's what we're motivating our kids to do. And that's what, and I know I said a lot. I tend to get excited and talk fast, but when you see where I've come from, the guy who was out there because I was a convicted felon, and I was the guy that raking dirt at the federal prison because I had to get one of those temp service jobs because I couldn't get anything else. So I'm out there, I mean, they give you the worst jobs. I'm in that hot sun raking dirt just so they can put sod down. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy who's going out doing all these side jobs because I had a daughter at home that I had anybody watching just so I can make some money. So those are things that I'm here to motivate you about, that no matter where you're starting from, just don't stop. If I can do it, trust me. And just imagine a deputy sheriff and then you going back in front of all these people everybody who's my friend, so I backed up. Who needed me? I backed up. The day I got fired and the day I went to jail, I never heard from people again. I was nothing then. I was on the other side of the tracks. And so from all of that, raising a daughter to my wife, my kids, and being able to be a motivation for them, I now spoke at the University of Houston. Prairie View brought me to speak in. New Mexico Office of Black Affairs brought me in there. I've been flown out to Boston where the movie has won awards there. All of this from, nappy-headed, dark-skinned, convicted felon. Amen? And so that's what I said. It's no excuse. We can still do it, and we're going to do it. And if you need me, I got business cards I want to pass out to everybody. I want you to come tour the facility up in North Dallas, and you'll see where history be made right here in Dallas from us. So any questions? Any comments? Any experiences like mine?
Any questions, anybody?
Well, like I said, thank you again for the honor to come and speak and for such an awesome crowd. And if you need me, like I said, the cars will be here. Come see the facility. Come and see what you can do in that building. I'm opening the door. We'll tell you, I'm opening the door for you. Come see it. Thank you.
All right. Being involved in a child's life, that's something good to take in. But that's the most important thing. You don't need money to make a child be empowered. It just takes yourself. The best gift a father can give to the kids is himself. And if you don't apply that into a child's life, it's not going to happen. The child's not going to be empowered, And one of the next speakers that I got coming up is Mr. Michael Mike. And this is a thing that we just put in perspective. And by this time next year, we hope to get 5,000 signatures. And what these 5,000 signatures are going to do is develop some type of unity within the Baby Daddy support group and legal discussion. And what we're going to use these signatures for is get a petition. So the judges and the lawyers or whatnot that's not practicing their law right within the equal right law, we're going to try to get them individuals out. Because I'm a non-custodial parent, and there's so many borders or boundaries that by being a non-custodial parent, you can't even take initiative for it. We make it so hard just to get a temporary order. If I present the courts with the right type of documents and they still deny me, But so Mr. Mike was going to touch bases on that. But not only we're going to try to get 5,000 signatures, we're going to try to develop some group economics. We're going to come together and raise funds and get money. Say for instance, out of that 5,000, and we get 500 guys to come, and then we sit down and come up with some type of agenda, and so we can present to a judge, just like Ms. Taylor back here. We're going to raise funds so we can get somebody in office that's going to support us. So out of that 500, we can just ask them to put $50 in or $20 in. That's going to accumulate to some type of money that we can present, because that's the only way. It's only so far your votes can go. So you got to get some type of money, present a check to somebody so we can put them in office, so we can get our issues discussed, things like that. So if we have that type of opportunity within the Baby Daddy legal discussion, a lot of things will go right, because we as parents, we need our legal rights heard. We need what we're fighting for, we're standing up for heard. So that's the only way we'll get through that. So Mr. Michael Mike will come up here and discuss that for him. Give Mr. Michael Mike a hand.
I want to again echo what I got your name, just Corey. Corey mentioned is I want to say thanks to everyone who came out, because we know we changed the date, and so a lot of people missed the date and got the time confused, and plus it's a Wednesday, and there's several other things going on in the city.
Really?
So I would like to say thanks to each of you for taking the time and making it a priority to show up. Quickly to kind of echo what Reese was talking about, quite often when you're looking to get something accomplished, you always need some type of support or help. I love your story, and I'm going to come back to your story as well, because your story is needed, and I would love for us to get together so that others who walk like us, talk like us, and look like us in our same shoes need to know there are men out there that can overcome adversities and still be a positive citizen who can vote and